What's the worst day you've ever experienced? Have you lost your job? Your significant other leave you? Have you been forced to deal with the forces of good and evil? Hi, I'm indie author and vlogger Garrett K. Jones, and today I'm going to be interviewing Irish urban fantasy author Stephen Black about his first book in his Kirkwood Scott Chronicles series. Hey, happy Saturday. I've got a few things to cover this week. First, I am currently editing through Book 5, Chapter 14. Last week I was still in the process of editing Chapter 13, but now I've moved on, and it's been a really great experience to revisit these chapters in the first half of the book. I'm eager for readers to get a hold of it once it's complete and available. Second, I'm still taking submissions for the third season of the Creators Corner podcast. Now, if you're wondering what that is, check this out. I'll tell you a secret. Old storytellers never die. Story, as it turns out, was crucial to our evolution. We are, as a species, addicted to story. Good stories surprise us. They make us think and feel. But no story lives unless someone wants to listen. Storytelling is one of the oldest traditions and professions. Hi, I'm indie author, vlogger, and podcast host Garrett K. Jones, and I'm doing something a little different. Instead of providing writing tips and encouragement, I'm giving other authors out there a chance to have their short stories and poems be heard. Welcome to Season 3, Storytellers. I'm still accepting submissions for short stories and poems, so if you're an indie author interested in participating, click the link down in the description box to register. When you register, there is a $5 fee that guarantees your place in the lineup, and it helps me with equipment upkeep. You'll then receive a digital form to fill out and submit your short story or poem. There's also no cap, so if you want to submit more than one entry, you can. You just need to make sure that you submit the equal amount of registrations to go along with it. Before going any further with the video, be sure to subscribe and click the bell icon for notifications on new videos. You can select notifications for all videos, or you can select notifications based on your preferences. If you're watching on your phone, be sure to update those settings inside the app itself to get the most out of your viewing experience. All right, so let's get into this month's author awareness interview. Hi, Stephen. Thanks for joining me. Tell me about your work. What do you write?
Hi, Garrett. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to come onto your podcast and talk about my writing. My name's Stephen. I'm an author from Northern Ireland. Live just outside Belfast, and I write mostly fantasy fiction. Started writing about two years ago. Before that, I blogged. My first book, which came out last summer, is Kirkwood Scott Chronicles, Skelly Square, which is a fantasy adventure set primarily in Belfast. It tells the story of Kirkwood Scott and his friends in a battle against a supernatural entity known as Augustus Skelly, who's trying to take over the planet and destroy civilization as we know it. I got the idea for Kirkwood Scott about 2 years ago, as I said, and it developed from there. I'm currently working on my second book, New Jerusalem, which is a sequel to Skelly Square, and it's due to come out in the autumn. It's been published by an American press called Potter's Grove, so exciting times.
So how did you get into being a writer? Was this something that you've always wanted to do, or was this something that developed as a more recent passion?
Always been interested in writing. I'm a massive reader. Read a lot of fiction and also non-fiction, but about 2 years ago I decided to start the book. Before that, for about 3 years now, I've been writing a blog mostly on a daily basis called Fractured Faith blog, and it got me into the habit of writing every day. And the more I wrote about, real life events in my blog, it led me to think, maybe I've got a book in me, maybe I could write a book. It's something I've always dreamed of doing. I've always had it in my head that, I would write a book one day, but it was really only in my 40s that I really settled into a regular writing routine and started to put my thoughts down on paper. I lost my father 10 years ago with cancer, and he had always wanted to write a book, so that was always at the back of my head too, that it was something I could do for him as well as for myself. I've always been encouraged by my family, so once I started writing, it just came to me. I got into the habit of writing every day, and I enjoyed it. It was a release for me. I found it, calming and, a break from the day-to-day chores. So 2 years ago, that's when the penny dropped and I started to write regularly.
What are some of your inspirations as an author?
As I said, when I was a teenager growing up in Northern Ireland, I read a lot. I was a bit of a nerd, a bit of a bookworm. The authors that really inspired me when I was young were the likes of Stephen King and J.R.R. Tolkien. So I've always had that interest in sort of, surreal, bizarre stories, fantasy, horror, an escape from reality. So it was obvious that when I was going to start writing myself that, I'd probably settle into one of those genres. So it's mostly fantasy I write, but there's a dark edge to it. There's also quite a bit of humour in it too. As of today, I'm reading a lot of stuff. At the minute, it's authors like Tana French in the Dublin Murder Squad series, and also I'm reading all the Gillian Flynn novels at the minute. But also there's so much good stuff from independent authors out there, and I always make a case of when I'm reading a book by an established author, I'm also working on a book by an independent author. You just go on Twitter in the writing community and there's hundreds and thousands of really good writers, and the independent authors in their work certainly is as good, if not better, than some of the more established names in the market at the moment.
What has been the hardest part or the biggest challenge in the creation of your work?
It's been hard when you're holding down a full-time job. You've got a family. I've got 3 teenagers with a lot going on to find the time to write. So that's been a challenge for me. I found books 1 and books 2, I did a lot of my writing on the daily commute to and from work on the train, which gave me about an hour every day to write. I did a lot of it on my mobile phone and then would transfer it across onto the laptop in the evening. So really finding the time, finding those little periods of quiet when you could write. The other challenge, as all authors face, is rejection. I had about 80 rejections before Skelly Square was accepted. I was getting quite downhearted about it all. My wife encouraged me to keep going, and in the space of a week I then got 2 offers for publication. That really encouraged me, as did the subsequent reviews for Skelly Square. We're now sitting at about 150 5-star reviews worldwide, and there's been some great things said about the book, which I'm really grateful for. And it transpired with a New Jerusalem, my first query. I got accepted by a publisher, so it's tough. You face a lot of rejection, but my advice to anyone is to hang in there and you'll get there in the end.
And if you could offer any advice to other would-be writers out there, what would you say to them?
My advice for other authors, it's really a follow-up to my last answer. It's don't give up. If you believe in your work, there are people out there who will want to read it and enjoy it. There's a lot of talented authors, I believe, don't make it, but it's the determined authors that do. So it's a combination. You need an ability to write, you need a talent, but you also, a lot of it is determination and being a bit stubborn and refusing to give up. As an author, you're going to get rejections. You can be the greatest writer in the world and you'll get rejections and you'll get people that don't like your work. But there are people out there who will like your work, and it's those people that you write for. It's their feedback, it's their encouragement that keeps you going. So if you enjoy writing, write. If you enjoy writing and you want other people to read it, and that's not for everyone, then certainly get out there, query. It's not just the big publishing houses. There's a lot of smaller independent publishing houses that are of a very high quality, with very high quality authors in their stables, and you'll find a home for your work if you just believe in it and persevere.
A big thank you goes out to Stephen Black for participating in this month's author interview. Now, if you're interested in getting a hold of his book or connect with him on social media, the links are located in the description box down below. These videos are meant to not only be my support and promotion of other authors, it's also a way to expose my audience to a variety of different writers. So I highly recommend going back through the playlist, which will be at the end of the video, and checking out some of the authors that I've interviewed in the past. Who knows? You might like something you find there. Hey, thanks for watching. If you find yourself in a position to do so, please consider becoming a channel supporter by going to patreon.com/GKJ Publishing. The link is down in the description box. There will be monthly support tiers of $1, $3, and $5 to choose from, each with its own set of perks, plus recognition at the end of the month. Please register for the 3rd season of my podcast, and I'll see you back here next week for Creator's Corner, where I'll have a new set of writing tips for you guys. The vlog of the 5 Kingdoms is filmed without the use of a live audience at Skyrocket Studios in Hanford, California. We can't do what we do without your help, so please make sure to subscribe by clicking the button that's above my head, and make sure to watch and share the videos over here to my left. Have a great week.